Most businesses think they understand churn, but they're actually flying blind with a blindfold they built themselves. You're looking at one big blended number and calling it insight, when the real story is hiding in the layers underneath. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When you average churn across your entire customer base, you're essentially asking what the average temperature is in a hospital and concluding everyone's fine. Some cohorts are hemorrhaging customers at 40% annually, while others are holding steady at 5%, and your dashboard is just smiling back at you. Think about what a cohort actually is. It's every customer who signed up in the same window of time, moving through their life cycle together like a class of students, progressing through school. When you track them separately, you stop measuring a blurry photograph and start watching a documentary. The catalyst behind this blind spot is almost always the same. Companies scaled fast, stitched together their analytics late, and defaulted to aggregate metrics because they were easy to report in a board meeting. Convenience became habit, habit became culture, and now entire growth teams are optimizing campaigns based on numbers that are mathematically misleading. There was a moment, maybe 2 or 3 years into the SaaS gold rush, when everyone celebrated their net revenue retention and assumed the machine was working. Then, the funding environment shifted, customers got more selective, and suddenly, those blended churn numbers stopped hiding the rot quite as well. The psychological impact of this is real operators develop false confidence, which is arguably more dangerous than no confidence at all. There's a famous line often attributed to Mark Twain that goes something like, "It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for certain that just ain't so." And cohort blind churn analysis is a masterclass in that exact trap. History is full of these cycles. A metric gets adopted, gets gamed or misread, causes downstream damage, and then a smarter version emerges to replace it. Monthly recurring revenue looked revolutionary until people realized it didn't tell you whether customers were actually staying, and cohort retention is now doing the same corrective work for churn. This fits into a broader, frustratingly predictable pattern where vanity metrics precede reckoning metrics, and cohort churn is simply the reckoning. The community of operators and growth practitioners who've made the switch will tell you the same thing. Once you see your cohorts, you cannot unsee them. And every month you delay is a month you're making product and marketing decisions on corrupted data. A common misconception is that cohort analysis is too complex or requires a data science team to execute. It doesn't. A simple spreadsheet grouping customers by their sign-up month, tracking how many are still active at 30, 60, and 90 days is enough to start surfacing patterns that will genuinely shock you. The historical lesson here is that businesses that caught churn problems early at the cohort level were the ones that could surgically fix onboarding, pricing, or product fit before the problem metastasized. They didn't panic, they didn't slash prices blindly, they identified which cohort was breaking and asked a much more precise question about why. The practical move is this: start small, pick one product line, export 3 months of signups, and track the retention weekly without trying to boil the ocean. Discipline here means resisting the urge to immediately act on the first anomaly you see. Observe, confirm the pattern across multiple cohorts, then respond. Position size matters in data decisions too, meaning don't re-architect your entire go-to-market strategy off one cohort's behavior before you've validated it elsewhere. The process, consistent tracking, honest reporting, and patient iteration will outperform any clever one-time fix driven by a single alarming data point. Ultimately, the businesses that win on retention aren't the ones with the most sophisticated models. They're the ones that looked at honest data consistently and made boring, disciplined adjustments over time. Cohort churn analysis isn't glamorous, but neither is compounding, and we all know how that story ends. You don't need to be afraid of what the cohorts will show you. Whatever it reveals is information you already needed, and knowing it means you can actually do something about it. The goal isn't a perfect retention curve. It's a progressively improving one, and that starts the moment you stop averaging away the truth. If any of this resonates and you're thinking about how smarter data decisions connect to smarter financial decisions overall, whether that's real estate investing, home contracting, work, or finding the right lenders, check out our links in the description below.